All right. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. For our third lesson in kind of a path we've been going with understanding social emotional issues and things that are happening in this world right now, today's lesson is going to be about justice. And justice can be a complicated word because it's has a lot of different meanings to a lot of different people. But what we're going to talk a little bit about today is stereotypes and how sometimes, because of the diversity that we have last week, we just studied diversity and we looked at it and you created beautiful art, and it just touched my heart so much that you guys really thought about it and were made meaningful art about it. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the fact that not everyone always appreciates justice for what it is. And sometimes they create injustices and make things unfair because of people's diversity. So we're going to start by watching this video in which they read a book aloud. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what your assignment for today is going to be. So let's watch this little video. And I'm going to be quiet during it so we can just enjoy. Let me push.
My name's Jelani Memory, and this is a kid's book about racism. This is a book about racism. For reals. And yes, it really is for kids. It's a good book to read with a grown-up, because you'll have lots to talk about afterward. Just you, keep reading. The book won't bite. Now to introduce myself. My name is Jelani. My skin color looks like this. If you're colorblind, this is the color brown. Because my dad is black and my mom is white, which makes me mixed, or African American, biracial, black, or a person of color. I'm proud of who I am and the color of my skin, but because of my skin color, people aren't always nice to me. Sometimes I get called names. Other times, it's worse. The person doing it might not even realize that it hurts me a lot. And when they treat me that way, it makes me feel small. You see, some people believe that having different color skin means you aren't as good as others. That's called racism. What is racism? Racism means to hate someone, exclude them, or treat them badly because of their race or the color of their skin. And it happens all the time. Not just in big ways, but sometimes it shows up in small ways, ways that are almost invisible. Like a look, a comment, a question, a thought, a joke, a word, or a belief. Racism is one of the worst kinds of mean someone can be, because racism thinks being different is bad. But being different is actually good. Like really, 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 really. Almost there, I promise. Really, 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 really good. 1000% good. Because being different means we have so much more to offer each other. Things like help, ideas, strength, skills, creativity, life, patience, respect, community, love, knowledge, experience, perspective, insight, diversity, wisdom, empathy, and originality. That whole being different thing It makes us better, much better. So if you see someone being treated badly, made fun of, excluded from playing, or looked down on because of their skin color, call it racism.
All right, my friends. So that book speaks a lot to what we have been talking about last week. We talked a lot about diversity and how important it is and how much it's appreciated. But it's not always something that everyone appreciates and not something everyone always honors, or they take it as something that they can make fun of or take it as something that they can use to make someone feel worse about. One of the hardest things is something called a stereotype. And a stereotype is basically thinking someone is one way because of something you think you know about them. And there are a lot of stereotypes about different ethnicities and races. Well, as we're learning about justice, one way that we can help these kind of things not happen is to speak out against stereotypes and against racism. One of the best ways we can do it right now, and I do have to say, I wish I was with you during to have these conversations. I think they are so powerful and they are so great, but please feel free to have them with your family or let me know if you want to have them, anything like that. But we really want to do our best to stand up against this. One way that some people have chosen to do that is through art. And in their art, they've made self-portraits. A self-portrait is a drawing you make of yourself. Sometimes people use it by looking at the mirror and then drawing or painting. Sometimes people do what they make portraits of what they think they look like. But the important thing about a self-portrait is there's no stereotype, there's no racism. It is what you know you are in your heart. And just like we talked about diversity, each person is unique and wonderful in their own way. And so sometimes people speak out against stereotypes by doing self-portraits that show who they want to be represented as. On the screen here, there are a few self-portraits. This is Frida Kahlo. She is a famous artist. You can see she drew herself and she drew the background she wanted. You can see she is a very serious look on her face. She drew herself how she wanted to be seen. Horace Pippin is the same one right here. We have Hugh Lee Smith. We have this one right here, Adrian Piper. We have Kamiko Young or Yoshida. All of these people drew these portraits or took these portraits to speak out against maybe someone said they were a certain way because they were Black or a certain way because they were Hispanic. But we know that this diversity that we bring to this world is such a positive thing. And a stereotype does not always speak to everyone. So what we're going to do today is I'm asking you guys to make your own self-portrait. You may use paints, you may use crayons, you may use the computer, whatever works for you. But I want you to make a self-portrait of how you want to be represented. Not with any stereotypes, not how anybody else thinks they see you, but how you see yourself. One of the great ways to do this is by looking at the mirror and drawing from what you see in the mirror, but even also just drawing from in your mind of what you want to be shown as can be just as powerful. I would love to see them. I saw some wonderful, wonderful pictures throughout this week when we were talking about diversity. And I look forward to continue working and talking about this so that we can just really help make this world a better place by, speaking to the justice and speaking against stereotypes and speaking against racism and just showing that everyone has the right to be seen how they would like to be seen and represent themselves how they would like to be represented. Enjoy this project. Have fun with it. Make it creative. Use whatever works best for you. I look forward to seeing them.